You told the room you were handling it today?
Are you recording?
Yes. Yes. I guess that's. Sure.
What's this? I said hi to every person that walked past. Yeah. Who did you buy flowers?
You went to
for?
Stella?
What?
Stella?
Yeah, Stella wasn't there, but yeah. Shmuel. Flowers for
It's okay now, I'm mute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Welcome,
Loud and
everybody.
clear,
It's
okay.
perfect. Loud and clear. And I guess you can hear us, right?
This is from yours Chizem, Makiva.
Oh, deze Mr. Bergman. I get never Shabbos.
Yeah, I
I
think
get
it's-
Shabbos, Rabbi Yosef.
Schon lacht, ich Shabbos, ik kan zich ze poen nog zijn Shabbos.
Schönen Shabbos. Es fehlt noch a Puishu.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to sounds like Shabbos Chazon. I know Shabbos is getting a little bit earlier, so this is Mishnich Nasav Mimatin Misimcha. We're going to have a little bit of a shorter program and try to finish it by 5:45. Some by design, some by default. But firstly, I'll announce the sponsors. It's sponsored by the Saul Anisfeld and family, Liluy Nishmas Moras Golda Bas Rebezra. The Yartzeit is on Chesav, as well as an appreciation of ABC. It's sponsored also by the Urman family, Liluy Nishmas Binyomin, Yehud Pesach, Reb Shmuel Eliyah. So Yartzeit was this past week on Chav Ches Tammuz, and by Mechi and Leah Wurzberger and Merit of Refuah Shlema for Leah's sister, Raya Basila Shetichya. It's so nice to see Itche Bergman live and not with just a phone. So now he could see everything that he's missing. I'm going to spotlight him for a moment. You think he can handle it? I think he can. No, he's used to the spotlight.
I put on my glasses.
Okay.
Yes, he got a computer. Welcome to the computer world, Itche.
Thank you, my sis. This is Achilas Araidos.
Well, originally, when this started in March, I offered Rabbi Bergman right away to buy a computer.
Yes.
And he didn't. And he said, no, it's okay. It's okay. I don't need it. It reminded me when I started working with my father many years ago, he worked in an office that wasn't air conditioning. I'm spoiled. I needed an air conditioner and I'm schlepping and bringing the machine in. And he says, medaf meshubin, I don't need it. What are you making yourself crazy? Then I turned it on and he goes, mechaya. So you don't need the computer, but once you have it, Baruch Hashem. Okay, we're gonna start with Ach Sameach. You know Ach Sameach is very able to sing, and followed, by the way, with Shlomi Goldreich with Al Nahros BAVEL.
Okay, ready? Ready? Kamayim Noichach b'nei Hashem Shivri kamayim Noichach b'nei Hashem Shivri kamayim Noichach b'nei Hashem Shivri kamayim libech Noichach b'nei Hashem Shivri kamayim libech Noichach b'nei Hashem Shivri kamayim libech Noichach b'nei Hashem Noichach b'nei Hashem. Shivchi kamayim libech. Noichach b'nei Hashem. Ay, ay, ay. Shivchi kamayim libech. Noichach b'nei Hashem. Shivchi kamayim libech.
Okay, lass uns schneiden. Aber wir legen Finger auf Platz.
Unbelievable. Yesher koyach. We have a professional judge here. You don't have to listen to me. I'm not a professional performer or singer, but Itche Bergman has been singing for many, many years. What do you think of their singing?
Beautiful.
Just beautiful, inspiring.
Very beautiful.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yesher koyach. Beautiful.
You know why it's beautiful?
Why is that?
Because they are very chushe vebucherem. That's why.
Shkoyach, Yossi, I'm glad to see you're having Anon. They're able to manage even without your direct assistance. Shlomi Goldreich is here. Saul, are you on?
Yeah, I'm there.
You're here. I have to tell you, this time of year, obviously, it's a little bit of a more somber mood. But even in there, there's certain things that happen in Shabbos Chazon in our shul. Unfortunately, we're going to be missing. One of them is Shoel Anisfeld, usually davens for the Amud Kabbalah Shabbos. And it's not a common thing, but it's very inspiring when he does. And then Shabbos day, when the Anisfelds give Kiddush, Liluy Nishmas, their mother, Shlomi Goldreich sings Al Nahros BAVEL. And only in the way Shlomi can do it, that even such a song that talks about our difficulties is able to bring such amazing inspiration to it. So it's this time I'd ask Shlomi Goldreich to do a virtual rendition.
I thought there was somebody else doing it. We were just going to help.
Well, you're going to start and we're going to help.
Okay, are the boys going to help too?
The boys going to help. Sure, they're going to help. Okay, boys, you're going to be able to help. And if it doesn't end up being synced, I'll try to do it. Otherwise, we'll have to dial it in.
Okay, where are they? Let's go. Is Shoel on too?
We'll find out.
Okay, we'll
You
have to
start,
find
go
out
ahead,
the
and
whole
I'll
stuff.
get everybody on,
Okay.
okay?
Okay, you got it?
Yes.
Al na together, let's go. Al na Hashem Yoshav Gandochino Kizochino Esitidoi V'kam Avochido V'zochino Im Meshkochich Yerushalayim.
Second picture is spending all the way over. Is it taking a consideration everywhere?
Where's everybody?
Tishkach yemini.
Tishkach yemini meshkochech Yerushalayim.
Tishkach
yemini.
Tidbag l'shayni lechi im lo yeskirei im lo yales Yerushalayim al Simchasi Zechair Hashem Levenei Edoim Esayoim Yerushalayim Ovoim Erim Aru Ada Yisoidavo Meshkochai Yerushalayim Tishkach Yemini Tidlak L'Shayni L'Chiyiki Im lo
I guess he's
yeskirei Im lo yales Yerushalayim al-roi
Goldreich.
Simchasi.
Beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful. Here's your help. Ach Sameach, come and sing the refrain. Imesh kochech. Let me hear you.
Okay, we can't really compete. You don't know?
Yeah, go ahead. Imesh kochech Yerushalayim tishkach
Yemini.
tishkach yemini. Keep going.
Tishkach Yerushalayim. Tishkach yemini. Tidbak l'shayni lechiki.
Hello, baby.
Lo yeskirei. Tidbak l'shayni.
That's what you got it.
That's where it goes next.
Im lo yales Yerushalayim.
Yeah, the mall. As soon as I might.
I think I'm gonna need some lessons.
Al roish. Shirkoyach, beautiful. Thank you, Shlomi. It's almost as good as real life. Okay, Moish Stern, if you're on, if you can make the announcements.
He isn't.
I don't know if he's here. He said he was going to dial in. Yossi, do you remember him off by heart?
Moshe's number?
No. The announcements. Pinch it.
Oh, I could bring up the loop.
We have.
Bring up the loop.
Well, Kiddush this week would have been sponsored by the Ansfeld family, Nishmas, Golda Ezra. Daf Yomi today. Pirkei Avos is Perek Gimel. Is that right?
Base.
Perek Beis.
Base.
The Daf Yomi tonight is Rabbi Finkelshir's at both Shurim. Actually, Rabbi Finkelshir's at 10:25 in Channel A, and Yossi Simon's shir is at Channel B at 10:30. Obviously, there's a fast on Thursday. The Rav will be going through the halachas of Tisha B'Av on Tuesday night, special edition of Loop Radio. So join us then for a comprehensive halachas of Erev Tisha B'Av and Tisha B'Av, and of course, Motzei Tisha B'Av that happens on a Friday. At this time, the Rav can go ahead and discuss the parsha and the event. Thank you.
The Tillim first. Tillim.
Put the Tillim up.
We have the Tillim.
Yes, correct. Thank you.
You putting on the Tillim?
Yes, just so it takes me 1 second. It is.
Shir Amalois, Mamakim, Krisicha Adoinai. Adoinai Shema Bekoili, Yenazak Kashuba, is the Kol Tachnunai, Mavoinai Sishmaya, Adoinai, Miyama, Itkim Chaslicha, the man Tiborei. We said, don't give son Apshi, with Goya Chalti, Nafsha Adoinai Mishamim, Abaike Shamim, Abaike, Yachas Adoinai, Manachasat Varbi, Maifidus, we give this Israel, Mikoil, Abainai Sav. Askila David, Yoisa, Ivamaras Villa, Koili, Eladina, Yazak, Koili, Eladina, Yazkan, Eshma Panasichis, Osim Agid, Isad Bagati, that's was where so Alec Tom Fakli, Abed Yamin Ray, Vaini Makir, about Manas Main Doris, Stack the Lakana, Max, Kalkver, Zakaim, Akjunazik, Loisim, the same right if I come to many. I see Mas going to have Yehud, so Shameach be a clear tzaddikim, Kisim Moira, Kainu Kalaisra, and as soon as on Surah Vashivya, I'm the Ben Bayam, Ben Yabasha, I'm okay, Ben Akamalay, Yatzim, it's all the welcome for him, I'm Shivya. I shook those Makarib, and I'm a Mishbek, Hossein, Ben Sak, my God, Swami, Berk, Rapes, Chaim Doiv, Ben Kreindl, David, Ben Simon, Ahmed, Be'etel, John Yosef, Ben Handel, Mordechai, Ben Leah, Yitzchak ben Hadufek Vashkal Kol Mispan Marim Sazek Jvark and Manach Malayim Achliman Rapois Machrisam Yoisam Yishlem Heira the poor Shalem Shmaim Kolbrem Kolbrem who is that Shus Bachak Baz Makorim Naiman Amen. Today is Erev Shabbos Chazon. Shabbos Chazon is the Shabbos of the week before Tisha B'Av. By some places they have Menhagim. Shabbos Chazon, they sing L'Chodoidi and the Eichanigan. Chodoidi L'Kras Kalo, B'nei Shabbos Nekavelo. And Halacha it's brought down. The Ramah brings down really on Shabbos we should wear the begodim of the weekdays. You shouldn't put on Shabbos begodim. One Shabbos, the grobings that you should put on should be the Shabbos. Some Sofer has a whole tshuva. The Rizal writes that on the Rizal used Shabbos, he wore regular big day Shabbos, everything was big day Shabbos. He says in Frankfurt, the Main, where they had a minhag that the special shtreimel that they wore for Shabbos, they didn't wear on Shabbos Chazon. Everything else they wore. So he says, the Svara says on Shabbos Chazon, the Indian of being Ma'abel, even though we know there's no Avelus b'Shabbos, that's only Avelus that's for Yochid. Rabbeinu Shalom's Avelus is a different type of Avelus. Avelus means that we feel that we're missing the Beis Hamikdash. So he says a beautiful word, that Arizal, if he would put on big Avelus on Shabbos, he would feel so good about himself that he's being Ma'abel. He said when he put on, when he had to put on big Shabbos, he felt bad that he couldn't be Ma'abel. So by him, it was a tsar for him that he couldn't be Ma'abel al Yerushalayim. It was a tsar that he couldn't wear. So he says that's why the Arizal wore big day Shabbos, because he wanted to feel bad that he couldn't be Ma'abel. He says, we're not that Madrega. We're not Madrega that we put on. So he says something we should change. But our minhag is, the Velt's minhag is that we do that we wear big day Shabbos on Shabbos. And the reason is because Shabbos, there's no Avelus b'Pahesia. There's Avelus in Leiv. Their Ban Shalom is b'Mistorim Tivke Nafshi. You cry in your heart. Outside, we say Isnari Ma'per Kumi, we ask Rabbeinu Shalom should go that we should go out of Golus, but the Shabbos is a Shabbos that Adrabah by having Shabbos. One of the things the Gemara brings down why Beis Mikdash was Chorev, they Shaloi Shomer V'Asa Shabbos. They didn't keep Shabbos properly. They means like the Mashal explains there. Sure, they kept Shabbos, but the Dibur of Shabbos wasn't proper. That it wasn't the way. So we are Mesaken on Shabbos Chazon. We want to give the proper cover to Shabbos. One of the Chabdeu, this mitzvah of Einik Shabbos and Kavod Shabbos. By showing Kavod Shabbos, we're being Mesaken Bechet of that they didn't keep Shabbos properly. That we were able to keep Shabbos properly. The Indian of keeping Shabbos properly. The Indian of in Elad Dvarim. So Rashi brings the first that Moshe Rabbeinu didn't want to speak and tell him exactly all the Chatoim. So he said it beremes. Everything is beremes. The first pasuk is beremes all the Chatoim. The kasha everyone asks later on in Dvarim, in the parsha itself, Moshe Rabbeinu goes and speaks about every chet, and he details every chet. He goes into detail every chet, the chet egel, chet meraglim, every chet. So how come over here in the beginning we didn't, and then all of a sudden later on we go through every chet? And the answer is that in Bahasya, when you say the beginning, you try to hide it. You don't give him. You don't give the chocha. You give the chocha a very nice way. The famous story by the Heilige Kapishnitzer Rebbe Chaim Rocha, who the Baron Kotler called him a Goen and Chesed. He once had to go in the summer Sharon Springs. He wasn't feeling good, and he came to Sharon Springs, and he befriended a person. There was an old person there who didn't keep anything. He went through the Muhammad, didn't keep anything, and the Kapishnitzer Rebbe asked him, "How old are you?" So he said 83. He said 83. It means it says that 70. 70 is a whole lifetime, is a whole generation. So now you're 13. You're bar mitzvah now. You became bar mitzvah now. You know what? He said, do you put on tefillin every day? He said, no, I don't have tefillin. He said, if I buy a pair of tefillin, would you put it on? He said, if the Rebbe makes a kiddush for me and makes my bar mitzvah, so he said, I'll make a big fancy bar mitzvah. I'll make a big fancy bar mitzvah for you. And so the Rebbe went away and came back a few hours later. He brought a pair of tefillin with him, and he brought a whole big kiddush for him. The next morning, by Shachris, they made a big kiddush. He put on his tefillin, his new tefillin by 13, by 83, put on his tefillin. And from that time on, he always put on tefillin, kept Shabbos. Vishta showed, you want to give a person tachacha, the best way is show him love. Show the person love. And it says that one of the things, the Beis Mikdash Chorev Shamidu the name al din Torah. That if you find the story of Kamsa bar Kamsa, the whole story of Kamsa bar Kamsa. Bar Kamsa wasn't a tzaddik. Bar Kamsa, you see what later he was a malshin. So most probably that's why he wasn't invited to the chasana. He wasn't invited to the suda. But it says the Gemara says it then. The Kama Gdoyle Busha, the Gdoyle of the Mavayishim, that they let him kick him out, that Hashproch Sayeh, the Bakamsa, the Abish to help Bakamsa, is Lichrav as Beisoy, or Lisref as Echoloi. To be Mavayish a person, to embarrass a person. In Beos, the Leisirtzach of Kal Yisrael is a different Leisirtzach than the Goyim. Beos Leisirtzach is embarrassing a person in public. It's called Leisirtzach. It's called, and like the Binyomin Paskins and Toisus, that halacha is that if a person comes to you, either I'll kill you or embarrass the person in public. It's Yehorig Val Yavar. It's better not to embarrass a person, and it's better to let yourself killed, because embarrassing a person is like killing a person, and that's we learn out from Tamar that she was ready to die, and ready just not to embarrass Yehuda. The Indian of even may give a techach you shouldn't be mevayish a person. So the Gemara comes out, the Gemara Belazar, the whole Churban came out because Bakamtza, who was Oisvar, we see his Oisvar. But since they didn't say anything and they let him be Mavayish, the Rebbeinu Shalom want to show us how big Bush is, how big the Inyan of Ben Adam Chavera. Akiva mentioned that usually the Kiddush is given for Mrs. Aniswald Aleh Shalom. She was such a person who everything she did was with such fineness. And always Chas Shalom, not to, even if she wanted to do something, she did it with the best, with not Chas Shalom to embarrass a person. He, together with her Chashuv husband, Chil, who's Yartzeit in 2 weeks, is that they both are people never to embarrass a person and to be careful. We find the Pegavis that Ezer Derech, where Sheyover Adam, calls it Teperes Leiseo, Teperes Lam in Adam. A person should have, what midah should a person have? Something that's Teperes for the one who does it, and Teperes for people. People say, look how beautiful the person is. Look how you could get so much more with a nice word, with a Yemin Mekarev, and Chas Hashem, and the Chofetz Chaim, and he used to, all the Talmidim, he said, if you go into Rabbanos, one thing, be careful. Never be mevayish a person. Never embarrass a person. You see that Moshe Rabbeinu was punished because he said Shimonu Amayrim. He was punished. He made Balachal Kaz Balachal Tos, and like David Melech says in Tehillim, because he said Shimonu Amayrim. He said a person has to be very careful never to embarrass. So in the beginning of the Varm starts off not to embarrass Klal Yisrael, not to bring out the Chatoim of Klal Yisrael, and that's the days of the 9 days are days where we have to be very careful. They say Eila is a vak lashon hara advarim, and you have to be very careful with not hurting anybody. With the lashon hara doesn't only mean speaking bad about a person. A bad speech means hurting a person. Is avak lashon hara. It's a person who has to be advar mashuv Moshe kol Yisrael b'arvas Moav. Today you're allowed to cut your nails. The covered Shabbos, if it's on the 9 days. Tomorrow night we make Havdalah. The halacha is that you don't have to change. You always make Havdalah on wine. You can make Havdalah on wine tomorrow night. You should make Havdalah on wine. But the halacha is if you have a boy that's between the age of 9 and 12 and he could drink, you should give it him to drink. But if not, you could drink yourself. It's a mitzvah. The Rebbeinu should hope that the Shabbos should be a Shabbos of Chazon. Should see the Gula. We should be zeicher to see the Bach Chazi. Like in the Yishalmi, it always says, in BAVEL it says Tosh Shema. In BAVEL it says, in Yishalmi it says always Tosh Chazi. Because when we be zeicher, Yishalmi is going, and when Mashiach will come, we'll be zeicher to see everything. We'll be zeicher to see everything clear. Shabbos Chazon is both Taichin. Shabbos Chazon, the Shayoy, what Shayoy saw, the Averis of Klal Yisrael. But Shabbos Chazon is also the Chazon that we see that the Gula will come. And the Rebbeinu should help that by keeping Shabbos properly and being Sameach Shabbos properly and showing the Rebbeinu Shalom the covet we give Shabbos. We should be zeicher to the Shabbos, Shekulei Toiv, the Shabbos, the big Shabbos, the Shabbos of Oil Mabah, the Shabbos of Ma'aseh Mashiach. Every one of us should be zeicher maybe this year that on Tisha B'Av we shouldn't have to fast. Should become a Moyed, Korelai Moyed. Should be a Yontiv, and together we should be zeicher celebrating the Minyan Beis Hamikdash b'meher b'yimeinu amen. All of you have a good. Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good koyach. Thank you to the Rav, as always. Thank you for continuing to be present in the program and encouraging the program. Thank you, all of you, who continue to join and provide encouragement to ABC. And thank you, Itche Bergman, for coming on for the first time. Hopefully it won't be the last either, and you'll continue to go on. And thank you to Sameach, who I have to tell you, Yossi, every week they're sounding crisper. Sounds to me like they're practicing. And which is a good sign. Please tune in next week for Tuesday, as we said, which is Erev Tisha B'Av for the halachas of Tisha B'Av. And next Friday, sounds like Shabbos. We're going to start earlier. It sounds like Shabbos of Heshi Menzalewski's Ufrav. Hope you all join in. Have a great Shabbos. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank-
you, Akiva. Thank you.
Goldreich, Akiva. Goldreich, thank you. Good Shabbos, Mr. Bergman.
Shabbos, everyone. Good Shabbos, everyone. Shkoyach.
Shkoyachu.
Shabbos, Shabbos.
Shabbos.